Mr. Frickin' Robot. Here's a spoiler-free review. In this show, the main character is a mentally ill hacker named Elliot Alderson. Other characters include Mr. Robot, the man, the myth, the legend, Tyrell Wellick, and Darlene. Each of them have their little side stuff. But what makes this show great? What makes this show one of the greatest of all time, in my opinion? Why do people in 2021 compare the show to Breaking Bad, which is one of the greatest shows ever? Let's get into it.
See, I usually do this kind of thing from my computer, but this time I wanted to do it AFK. In person. Trying to work on my social anxiety. But there's always the threat of you fleeing after I call you out. You tell your sysadmin to take your servers down, wipe all the data, so I made sure to include the current time and location on my anonymous tip.
Wait, hold on. I'll give you the money. I'll pay you. How much to go? I'll pay you.
That's the part you were wrong about, Rohit. I don't give a shit about money.
Well, first, you have to talk about characters. The characters in the show are absolutely stellar. All of them have great character development. You have Tyrell Wellick, who's literally crazy. He's literally insane, guys, but still manages to be one of the fan favorite. He works at E Corp, and he's Tyrell Wellick. That's all you need to know. You have Darlene. And now, I know I said that there would be no spoilers, but there's a minor spoiler here. But it's not going to hinder your view of the show. Darlene, Elliot's sister. She's basically like his sidekick, kinda, but she also does her own thing. She does whatever the hell she wants. She's chilling. Mr. Robot, who does absolutely everything he wants to do. He's really pushy. He's insane. He's one of the best characters. He's funny. He's crazy. He's basically like every character I mentioned before, put into one. He's everyone. And then you have Joey Badass, who plays Leon, a dude who just is trying to understand Seinfeld. And hey, can we really blame him? I don't think people in 2021 understand Seinfeld. Angela, who is Elliot's longtime best friend from when they were kids, who is just trying to live a somewhat normal life in the world they navigate. So, yeah. So I'm just going to do a little summary of the plot, and basically, the story is from the point of view of Elliot Alderson, who is a mentally ill hacker, who is obsessed with saving the world. At first, he thinks he needs to corrupt all banks and take down Evil Corp. Later, he gets involved with the Dark Army, who is ran by White Rose. Now, before we talk about the stuff I personally like of the show, I really think I should mention the camera angles and music. This show has some of the most innovative camera shots I've seen in any live-action TV show. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it has one of the longest one-takes ever. To complement the camera angles, we have music from Mac Quayle. I think I'm saying that right. But let me tell you, this music is so good. In fact, I think I'm playing it right now. You know, I'm definitely playing it right now. That's just me deciding if I wanted to play it or not. But this show is a bop. It knows its time and place perfectly, and it adds a whole new level of eeriness and intensity to this show. It will literally make your heart beat out of your chest. Now, besides the music and the characters, this show has some of the best storytelling I have ever seen. It is so good. And let's talk about another character I didn't want to mention. Vera. He's a side villain, but let me tell you, this is the most depth I think I've ever seen in any TV villain ever. I can't even begin to explain how good of a villain this guy is. He's a drug dealer, he's a gangbanger, he's does whatever he wants. He's one of the best villains. And I can't say too much about the show without, spoiling it. So this is why this review is really hard to make. I can't tell you why the show is good. I just have to try to convince you to watch it. But if you like anything like Breaking Bad or anything super intense, this is the show for you. And not to mention, this show is not for everyone, and I know that. Believe me, I have had tons of friends watch this show, but it does get really complicated. It's pretty complicated, and it's also very emotionally heavy to watch. And you might say, well, maybe you're just a wimp. Actually, the most emotional episode I'm talking about, season 4, episode 7, I believe, is one of the highest rated episodes on IMDb, with a 9.9, falling below Breaking Bad and some other shows, AOT, you know. But that is one of the greatest episodes of cinematic. This show is so engaging to watch, and you might tell me that's like another level of intensity, but it's actually not. When I mean engaging, it reaches out through the viewers. There's tons of websites that actually play along with Evil Corp and Red Wheelbarrow, which is the restaurant in the show. And also, there's a Mr.Robot diary that he actually writes in the show. So if you're into that, grab it. It's really sick. I have it. I've read it. It's amazing. It's fun. And props to Sam Ishmael. Sam Ishmael is also, he's the writer and director of the show, who is also a hacker at some point. He doesn't like to talk about it that much, I don't think. But he knows what he's doing. And if you're thinking that maybe the hacking isn't on par to what you would see in real hacks, I've heard from people on social media who hack that this is very close to what you would see as far as running the prompts and running the commands. So, yeah, I mean, try this show out. I cannot stress this enough. The first episode is so amazing. It introduces it introduces all of the characters. Elliot, and oh yeah, I forgot to mention, you're also Elliot's friend, kind of. So he will only show you what you need to be seen. Since he's mentally ill, he has different personas, and we're one of them. We're his imaginary sidekick, friend, whatever you want to call it. But it's also a genius part of the show with the narration. Elliot's narrator, and I've never seen a show that has a main character and a narrator as like the same person. I'm sure they're out there. This is just the first one I saw. If you were worried about a lacking quality as the seasons go on, don't. I think all of the seasons are literally better than the last, including, yeah, all of them. I mean, season 2 has one of the biggest twists I've ever seen, which was mind-blowing at the time I saw it. And season 3 is probably the weakest season, but it's still amazing. There's not any part of the show where you're dragging to watch through it. And season 4, which is the last season, is also really good, and it has a perfect finale if you can understand it. I know a lot of people in the finale got confused, and also at the end of some characters, not the end as in death, but just how things wrapped up. It was a little confusing, but look it up. I think you'll understand it. Once you understand it, it is absolutely amazing. If you guys want me to do a spoiler included review of the whole show, let me know. But in the meantime, I think that's all I can say without spoiling anything. I know for a fact I'll have a video out next week. Leave a like, subscribe. I work very hard on these videos nowadays. I'm trying to improve the quality. So everyone have a good day, and peace.